The United States is bombing Iran. The ceasefire is over, and today Russia sent a very specific aircraft to Tehran.
The Kremlin's airborne war headquarters landed in the Iranian capital with no explanation, hours into renewed American strikes. As American bombs fell on Iran again this week, one aircraft flew the other way, toward the fighting, and landed in Tehran.
Not a diplomatic plane and not a cargo flight, but a flying command post.
It was Russian, and it was no ordinary aircraft. The plane was a Tupolev Tu-214PU, an airborne command post built to keep a national government running through a war. Neither Moscow nor Tehran has said a word about why it came. No statement, no explanation. Just the flight, and the message a flight like this carries on its own. The Tu-214PU belongs to Russia's Rossiya Special Flight Squadron, the unit known as 235 that moves the country's most senior leadership. The plane is built to survive what would ground everything else. It carries encrypted satellite links that keep working through jamming and electronic warfare. It is shielded against the electromagnetic pulse of a nuclear blast. It can direct military forces in real time from the air. This is the aircraft the Kremlin sends when it intends to run a war from the sky, and when it wants that fact seen. It was not the plane's first trip to Tehran. The same aircraft made the journey on February 16th, 12 days before the American and Israeli strikes that opened this war. And the war is fully back on. The ceasefire that paused the fighting last month has collapsed. President Donald Trump said so on Wednesday. Asked whether the deal was dead, he said he believed it was over. He went further. He said he had no interest in dealing with Iran's leaders. He called them sick and violent. Since then, U.S. forces have struck multiple targets across Iran. Iran has hit back at American bases in Kuwait and Bahrain, and aimed at Qatar, where local reports say falling debris injured 3 people, one of them a child. Into that, Russia sent its flying command post. The two countries are not casual partners. In January of last year, they signed a 20-year strategic partnership covering military cooperation, intelligence sharing, and energy. Their annual trade runs past $5 billion, and Moscow has been in talks to sell Iran Su-35 fighter jets and S-400 air defense systems. When the treaty was signed, the Russian president described it as a way to strengthen ties in the interest of both nations. So why this particular plane, and why now? Analysts point to 3 possibilities. The first is practical. Russia may want to talk to Iran through a secure airborne channel that is far harder to intercept than ordinary communications. The second is a signal aimed at Washington. Flying an aircraft tied to Nuclear Crisis Command into a country under American bombardment tells the United States that Russia is watching, engaged, and not stepping aside. The third is operational. With U.S. strikes hitting command infrastructure across Iran, Moscow may be helping the Iranians hold their command and control together. The flight's limits matter just as much. Russia has not entered the war. It has not handed Iran nuclear weapons or the technology to build them. It has not fired on American planes. What Moscow has done is make sure no one mistakes it for a bystander. In a war this raw, a single flight can carry consequences well past the runway it lands on.